There is a strange paradox about the human mind. You can travel across continents, build cities, send machines to other planets, and yet, the one place you rarely visit is the space from which all experiences arise. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, every ambition that drives you forward appears in a silent field of awareness. But almost no one asks the question, what is this awareness? The strange thing is, the awareness is present in every moment of your life, and yet, it is the one thing we almost never examine. Tonight, we are going to examine it, because an ancient text of India claims that if you follow this investigation far enough, you will discover that the self you believe yourself to be does not actually exist, and it describes 7 stages through which the discovery unfolds. I don't know which stage I am at. I'm not sure that's even the right question. But I find this map genuinely useful, and I think you might too. Stage 1 is Subheccha. Every journey begins with a doubt, a great suspicion that sometimes that something about the way we live does not make sense. We chase pleasure, we chase recognition, we chase success. And yet, the satisfaction fades almost immediately. The sages call this endless cycle samsara, the wheel of seeking. At some point, a dangerous question appears. What if the problem is not the world, but the one who is chasing it? This moment is called Subheccha, the good desire. The desire not for another experience, but for truth itself. Curiosity turns into investigation. The seeker begins asking a deeper question. Who is the one having these experiences? Thoughts appear, emotions appear, memories appear. But who is the one observing them? The Ashtavakra Gita expresses this insight with stunning simplicity. You are not the body, nor the mind. You are the witness of both. At first, this seems like philosophy. But through inquiry, something subtle happens. Instead of believing every thought, you begin watching them, like clouds drifting through the sky. The third stage is Tanumanasa, the thinning of the mind. With sustained observation, the mind begins to quiet. Desires lose their urgency. Fears lose their grip. The sage called this Tanumanasa, the thinning of the mind. The internal noise of thought begins to fade. There is a network in our brain called the default mode network. This network generates the sense of a personal self. It creates the internal narrator that constantly says, I am thinking, I am deciding, I am the one experiencing. But during deep meditation, this network becomes quieter. The narrator fades, and what remains is simply awareness. Which brings us to the most important stage in the entire map. Stage 4 is Sattvapatti, the moment of awakening. At this stage, the seeker crosses a threshold. Something becomes unmistakably clear. The observer and the observed are not separate. Consciousness is not something inside the body. It is the field in which the entire experience of the world appears. The sages call this realization Sattvapatti. The world begins to look like a dream, not unreal, but not independently real either. And then, the sages say something that stops you completely. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad makes the declaration, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Not I am connected to something divine, not I am part of a greater whole, but I am the ground of existence itself. Sit with that for a moment. Because if this is true, everything you believe yourself to be changes. According to the Yoga Vasistha, this is enlightenment. And yet, the journey is not finished. The Yoga Vasistha illustrates this with a story. A king named Sikhidhvaja believed liberation required abandoning the world. So he renounced his kingdom and went deep into the forest. For years, he practiced austerities, meditation, fasting, silence. But liberation never arrived. What he did not know was that his own wife, Queen Chudala, had already attained realization. She understood that liberation was not about escaping the world, it was about dissolving the illusion of the self. She disguised herself as a wandering sage and found him in the forest. She asked, "Why have you come here?" The king replied, "I have renounced everything in search of liberation." The sage smiled and said, "You have renounced your kingdom, your family, but have you renounced the one who claims to have renounced it?" In that moment, something finally broke. He had abandoned the palace, but he had carried the ego into the forest. The renunciation was real, but the renouncer was still very much alive. The sages explained the remaining stages with a powerful metaphor. Imagine waking up from a dream. For a few moments, the dream images may still linger, but you know something important. It was only a dream. Awakening is like this. The illusion has been seen through, but the old patterns of the mind still have momentum. The momentum is called prarabdha karma, and this is why the journey continues. Stage 5 is Asamsakti. Effortless detachment appears. Pleasure arises, pain arises, but neither leaves a deep mark on our consciousness. Think of someone who has lost a loved one, grieved fully, and found peace. They can feel sadness again, but it no longer owns them. The ocean remains still, even while waves appear. But the final stages are not just about detachment. They are about something far more radical. The disappearance of the world as you perceive it. Stage 6 is Padarthabhavana. Perception itself begins to change. Instead of seeing separate objects, one sees only the underlying reality, appearing in many different forms. Like waves recognized as water, or ornaments recognized as gold. There is a moment some meditators describe, not mystical, just quiet, where the boundary between the observer and the room they are sitting in becomes strangely thin, not frightening, just open. The universe is seen as a single field of consciousness. Stage 7 is Turiyatiga. Finally, the sense of individuality disappears entirely. The body continues, life continues, but the internal narrator is gone. The Mandukya Upanishad describes this state as peace beyond duality. This is the complete dissolution of the separate self. But the Yoga Vasistha ends with something important. Many seekers experience a glimpse of awakening at stage 4. The insight is real, the experience is genuine, and they believe the journey is complete. This is perhaps the most common trap on the spiritual path. And this is where many paths quietly stall. Because the insight happened to someone, and that someone, the ego, quietly claims it as an achievement. I have realized the self, I am awakened. The very claiming is the proof that the work is not done. True freedom, the sages say, stabilizes only when the illusion of individuality can never return. Not suppressed, but seen through, so completely that there is no one left to be fooled again. And now, we can answer the question we began with. What is the awareness in which every thought and emotion appears? The sages of Upanishads gave a radical answer. It is not something you possess. It is not something you achieve. It is what you are. The mirror was never broken. The dream never had the power to bind you. And the awareness you were searching for has been present in every moment of your life. Quietly watching, waiting to be noticed. Now that you know about the ancient map of enlightenment, feel free to comment on the video and share which stage you think you are in. Just the fact that you are watching this video says that you are definitely past stage 1. Maybe your comments can inspire another person to start their journey of awakening.